Welcome back, everyone, to the European Masters. It's tiebreaker day. My name is Mauro, Chronically Mirsa, joined here by Georgia, Trouble Inc. Paras, and I'm kind of sad that we don't have more tiebreakers.
You've seen too many things, right?
No, I'm sad we don't have more tiebreakers because I generally love League of Legends gameplay. That's also why we're here. Presumably also why you're here. But today, it's just 2 games.
It's just 2 games, but they're of huge importance because basically, just to give you the big title of the story is major regions, 2 specific major regions, the SLO and the Prime League, are only gonna end up having 1 representative in the playoffs after the first also tiebreaker. So it's gonna be really quick, really snappy. 1 region is not gonna have a good time.
It's all or nothing for the first game. It's do or die. If you lose this game, you lose. And both of these 2 teams have been in this position before. They've had to fight for a chance to make it through. And this far it's not been great. If you look at the EU Masters as a whole, LFL, 3 seeds making it through. No biggie. Ultraliga already has 2. And of course, Rogue is playing later, but it's just for seeding.
They've already locked in.
Yeah, they're fine for quarterfinals. And then the SLO and the Prime League, one of them at the end of today is going to end up with only a single representative. And as a major region, that's always going to sting.
Yeah, and as we see here, the group standings, it will come as a surprise as a lot of teams have already gotten out. You see Fnatic Rising are not in, Schalke 04 Evolution is not in. We've been talking about a banger EU Masters, this specific split, and we're like, first seed and second seed doesn't necessarily matter too much because whoever you get to play, it's going to be an insane playoffs. We could potentially have maybe a final just in the quarters next week.
And that, I think, is something that's just crazy with the overall power level of the EU Masters, right? Because as you were saying, if I look at like #1 seed, #2 seed, you literally have like the 2 finalists in one group, and every team just looks incredibly strong as we're treated to a beautiful transition there. So let's get into that first game, because it is going to be GamerLegion taking on Movistar Riders. In the head-to-head, in the group, these teams are 1-1.
They're 1-1, and the very funny thing about it is that if I'm gonna talk about Movistar, I put my vote down for Movistar. I'm like, these guys look incredibly strong, they look incredibly clean. They have some names such as Elyoya and Xico, where I see them in the LEC potentially next year. They are absolutely ready. They smash the first week with a 3-0, and they come onto the second week, and I'm like, who are these guys? I don't recognize them. They didn't play their playstyle. They weren't clean at all. We didn't have these big, extremely insane plays that we were seeing from specifically Galio and Xico. Hava didn't get to play the game the second week, and we're like, where is the Movistar that we were expecting? And for GamerLegion, it was the opposite. A very 50-50. We called them coin flip on the first week, and we're like, yeah, this is the dark region. This is GamerLegion as well. But they came in on the second week with a really banging 3-0. And here...
3-0.
And here they're coming to completely eliminate the SLO.
So GamerLegion chose blue side here, and as you're saying, as a fan of either of these regions, it's a best of 1. There's no more chances, there's no more redemption arc. If you lose this, your representative is out. And Movistar, they're the #1 seed of the SLO coming into the tournament. We called them the Spanish Shavers. At the start of this group last week, we said they might take it all. And now they're fighting for their very lives.
It is so weird because you go back 1 split in the Spring Split 2020, both Movistar Riders and Giants were fighting for their lives in tiebreakers. Luckily for the SLO this time, Giants are locked and loaded for playoffs, and now Movistar are looking to completely take GamerLegion out. And I just want to say that history is repeating themselves with the Dark region as a whole. It was in the previous split, Spring 2020, Mouse got in straight into playoffs, Schalke got eliminated, and GamerLegion were fighting for their lives in tiebreakers. So we have the exact same situation repeating again.
And you know who eliminated Schalke in the tiebreakers last time?
Oh, I know. It was a go rogue.
No, actually,
it was Kick.
Yeah. And
I'm like, it was 100% a go rogue. No, it wasn't.
What I'm wondering about coming into this match is what is going to happen, because as we said, these teams 1-1. They have been in quite interesting games as well, because GamerLegion, when you talk about them, you already mentioned Elyoya, Xico, these incredibly strong individual players, but GamerLegion, they're a team where like you never know what curveball they're going to throw this time.
I think it's been sort of the upbringing and a criticizing point for them. You're like, you have all these incredibly talented players, but they play so many different champions. Like you go into the LEC, the LPL, the players have a specific pool of champions where they can play on 150% of their ability, and then they're like, we can play everything else, but not at the same level. GamerLegion are pulling out so many things, and you're like, is this maybe why this team has been inconsistent? Is this why they haven't been able to find their way outside of playoffs? This is their last chance to prove that their playstyle is here to stick, it's here to stay, and that they can take on any major region.
As a representative, and the sole representative, unfortunately, of the Belgian league and the Dutch league, I love GamerLegion. They're weird, they're wacky, and as you say, it's both a strength and a weakness. When they don't look good, it just kind of falls apart, and then it's really easy to point fingers to the draft. But as we saw last week, they can also go for 3-0. Now, let's take a look at what we've seen Locked In does, because GamerLegion not throwing any curveballs quite yet, whereas Movistar also a lot of comfort getting picked up there.
I quite think that both of these teams have gotten comfort so far. You have the Lucien, which is an S tier pick right now in the meta overall, so you see it both flex in the mid lane and the top lane, but Phones has done extremely well playing the Ornn, creating these hard engages for the side of GamerLegion, as well as playing weak side and not necessarily having to attract too much attention from Phones, from Rabble, who usually wants to be playing around mid lane and bot lane. So I really like the Hecarim, because Rabble, every time he will get the chance, he will just grab the pony and run you over. But on the side of Movistar, I really like the Shen. It's been a big sort of point of discussion for a lot of teams in the jungle. I'm not so locked and loaded on Lillia, but I will trust Elyoya, and we'll talk about it more in the game as well. And have on a very safe ADC. We talked about him this week. He didn't get to play the game with the more immobile ADs. Right now on the Ezreal, he has the chance to dictate how he's going to move around the team fights.
I love the Lillia, but I love a lot of things. I'm a very, very all-encompassing.
You're very positive man.
Yeah, again, you're kind of forced to when you play in the Benelux. We love our weird drafts, our weird picks. I think that what Movistar have drafted here can also still have a lot of flex potential, because they might go for a counter pick support, but it can also flex to Shen if they're inclined to do so. Yeah, that's GamerLegion. That is a Zilean Galio bot lane, I assume.
So back when I was coaching 3, maybe 4 years ago, having a Lucien that's dancing around the rift was my favorite thing ever. Having a Karma and a Lulu to speed up the Lucien, get him in, get him out. Remember Bang back in SKTT1? He was making insane plays with a Karma and a Lulu behind him with a Lucien. Right here, Nite has the chance to do the exact same thing. Actually, I'm not quite sure if it's going to be Hjarnan playing the Lucien down the bot lane or what's going to happen. The only thing I'm sure about is that Phones is going to play the Ornn and that Rabble is going to play the Hecarim. Other than that, we have absolutely no clue where anything's going. I'll have to say that I might be thinking that the Galio will be going to Nite. We've seen him play both the Aftershock and the Dark Harvest Death Cup Galio. Here, you don't necessarily have to, because we've talked about Galio doing damage anyway. You don't necessarily have to go on the really hard aggressive playstyle, but who am I to say what GamerLegion is going to pick on the runes, right?
Who knows? The GamerLegion, they can also swap. We've seen them do it before, where they just swap Hjarnan to mid lane.
It looks like it's going to stay like this.
I think so, but
it suits Hjarnan as well on a mage.
Yeah, but they can still throw him into mid lane randomly. That's more the point, like going into chapter. You never know with GamerLegion, but coming into this game, I want to remind you, yet again, this is all or nothing. If you lose here, it's one single game. Both teams have given everything that they got here. If you lose this one, either as GamerLegion or as Movistar, you are out of EU Masters. Your run ends. You don't get to go back and complete your loser bracket redemption arc. This is it. You need to win this game. If you don't win this game, it's going to be the end. And neither the Prime League nor the SLO is going to be happy with just having one representative in the quarters.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to be more of a big hit for the SLO, because Movistar is coming in with so much expectations. They're coming in as potentially even being the winners of it all, the Spanish saviors, as you've said over and over again. So losing that #1 seed from the SLO is going to be a big slap in the face. On the other hand, GamerLegion need to prove that, you know, their playstyle does fit in the playoffs. It does fit in EU Masters. It does fit in the LEC. Like, the way they play, it can be put into further above them leagues, and they're here to prove just that. Even though this is a more, if you can say, more conventional playstyle coming in for GamerLegion, we don't see any Nico Graga shenanigans bot lane.
as far as GamerLegion go, this is conventional. I don't think a lot of other teams will play
There's a
Zilean.
meter. There's a GamerLegion meter. How conventional is that?
And a level 1 brawl would be kind of on point, but it looks like it is just going to be the stealing of the Raptors here, and then presumably also the red buff. So maybe we're going to get some vertical jungling here with Rabble going into the top side of Elyoya. Now, the Hecarim, they get invaded a lot this EUM.
Yeah, it's been the case here. I don't necessarily think that it's a bad thing for Rabble because he gets to play for top side, but I like it much more from the side of Movistar because a Galio Zilean lane will want to push. They have a lot of AoE into their kit, the bombs, the Q from the Galio. They will generally want to put pressure, stick that Ezreal underneath the tower, and keep on poking, then roam onto top river. But knowing that Elyoya is behind them the entire time, they can't necessarily pressure the lane, which means it's going to be extremely hard for that bot lane to get down some farm.
Visdom doing his best to steal the big golem. That unfortunately doesn't happen as Elyoya just keeps doing the Krugs. And as you say, Visdom and Hjarnan, they're basically stuck under the turret and they're going to have to wait for the wave to crash into them. Meanwhile, Rabble making his way over towards the top side. Will be spotted on the wall there, but Lucien early game is, I guess, a little bit stronger than Azir.
He's oppressive.
Yeah. He's marginally stronger. I say as Nite actually does has to run because if Elyoya is there, it's a little bit more of a risk, and they actually are able to hold off the Raptors here. And not only that, but with Elyoya's pathing here, it also means he locks Rabble out of that topside jungle.
That is extremely important for the side of Elyoya. We've talked about how we want to see him on a non-farming jungler, just so he can have a little bit more impact on the map. And right now, you see that all lanes from Movistar are unlocked. rhuckz, though, has found himself a pony. He's actually beating the pony up.
Yeah, and JaVaaa needs to be respectful here, though. Will get knocked by the devastating charge, but more than that is not going to happen right now. And we see here, Movistars are doing everything they can to keep Rabble down, because if he snowballs on his Hecarim, it is an absolute menace. They're not giving up this for free, though. They are definitely looking for a fight here. Visdom goes in for the Justice Punch, does find a Taunt on top of Elyoya. He needs to flash away immediately. The Lillia is so squishy, and that's first blood for Rabble. rhuckz now stuck in a very, very tough position as the snowball is coming through here from GamerLegion. They find the early kills that they so love as Nite has to get away from Xico. Xico flashes after him and will pick up the kill, and that is amazing as the teleport is going to come in here. Phone's trying to take down Xico. He has no flash available. Here comes the charge. There is not even going to be a knock-up necessary as Phones finds the kill. It's a 4-for-1 trade early here for GamerLegion as they absolutely demolish Movistar in the early.
And if GamerLegion excel at something in the early game is taking the brawl to you, getting these fights down very early into the morning of Summoner's Rift. 2-0 on the Hecarim is going to be extremely important. We were praising Elyoya about his path and about how well both him and Xico played the middle so they could actually choke Hecarim away from resources, but they took a very dangerous path. Elyoya is taking this path again.
Elyoya maybe a little bit disrespectful. Xico is going to now threaten enough for them to back off. But as you were saying, the early pressure here, the attempt to choke out Rabble, which has been such a pivotal member for GamerLegion, isn't working out.
So I like this here from GamerLegion because they know JaVaaa is right behind them. You're not going to flank with an Ezreal that just has a cleanse. They cut Elyoya and then they just pretty much run him down. And Xico can't actually do anything. He can't push down the river because he's being pushed in by Nite. rhuckz was way too far forward together with JaVaaa. You don't have any reason being there whilst your Lillia is down. You can't take the 2v3. Luckily for Movistar, Xico is able to turn one kill around, but then Phones finds the opportunity. That's a flashless, manaless, HP-less Azir that ends up going down, and the Ornn cashing in
Rabble.
one kill.
Elyoya, he will spot him out, and it does mean that he is able to at least keep himself alive. But the control here from GamerLegion early has been exceptional. But this is something
hunter has become the hunted here.
Exactly. But this is something they've done time and time again. GamerLegion is really, really good in these early skirmishes, but sometimes afterwards they have the opportunity to go in a little bit too deep and give up any advantage they accrue.
I just feel like specifically Movistar here would not need to do anything because GamerLegion, like you mentioned, will play into their own cards. They will go for this aggressive playstyle when they actually cannot. And at this point, that all the cards were in Movistar's deck. Then GamerLegion pull the trigger and they come out ahead due to the priorities. I feel like these both teams Oh.
So much going on here as JaVaaa goes in deep. He's just going to taken down in a 2v2 as the Stand United comes in from beansu. Hjarnan gonna get taken down. A beautiful bait coming through here as Movistar Riders find a kill.
Whew. JaVaaa right there. You can say baiting with 1 HP.
Oh, yeah.
He was definitely calculated, walking through the queue from the Galio, walking through all the bombs and everything. But luckily for them, beansu was back just in time to cover the bot lane, and they're cashing in 1 kill onto the Shen as well. We'll see this again. So JaVaaa plays extremely forward because he has bombs on his backside. He can't necessarily move that way. He cleanses and oh my god.
Look at that health. Beautiful timing there, and beansu coming up so clutch here.
I just want to know, beansu comes in level 6. I don't know if he had just dinged level 6 on that 1 HP. I don't know how calculated that one was, Chronicler.
It worked out. We're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Now, the gold lead's still here for GamerLegion. And I want to talk about Rabble and Nite, because those are the ones that we've seen get the most resources, and it's starting to look like in this early game, at least Rabble is getting that part of the deal. What do Movistar do here besides finding beautiful baits like we saw just there?
I think you just have to chill, relax, and allow beansu to come in with a lot of proactive ultimates like they did right there. Pretend you're getting caught, put JaVaaa or anyone else as the bait, pull beansu in and make proactive plays when teleports are not up and available, for example, for phones or Nite.
So you go for the reactive plays. You let GamerLegion make mistakes.
You have to, because I feel like your scaling moments here are really big with the Lillia and the Azir, and you also have JaVaaa onto the Ezreal, where with the Death Suns later on, he will become a mini boss. He will be putting down the pain, but also being extremely tanky. So you don't necessarily have to take too many proactive plays here. Let GamerLegion play into your own hands, because you know they will.
Despite the gold lead, we do see the Rift Herald being started up here by Movistar. They take it very low. Here comes the hard engage coming through. The taunts will hit there. The smite's still available, but in the end, it's not going to be enough as they get zoned away. GamerLegion will be picking it up here. Now maybe a disengage as there comes the ultimate from Xico, but he oversteps crucially. Now we see only Visdom there in the thick of it. It will be a 1-for-1 this far. Nite going in aggressively here to trying to get out of the pit as Elyoya is really, really low. And they don't quite want to dive in as GamerLegion. It's a really awkward stand here as there comes the Chrono Shift. Rabble goes in, devastating charge, not enough. So much damage coming through from GamerLegion. And that's yet another kill as they pick up the Rift Herald and win the skirmish.
I just don't understand what Movistar are doing. They're pulling the trigger to go for the Rift Herald. They don't TP in beansu quick enough to have the numbers advantage there. Because as you see, Phones was all the time down the bot with no teleport. Right here is when you need to pull the trigger from beansu to have the numbers advantage. Catch everyone from GamerLegion off guard. There is a teleport right behind them, but beansu is way too slow. GamerLegion walk in and they take the advantage by numbers.
They didn't have smite there. And in that extended fight, it just goes alright for Movistar.
Herald with no smite, and you expect GamerLegion to sit there and watch you do it? And then after that, Movistar, because then they realize that they have the numbers advantage, they want to fight, but then they don't have the HP advantage because rhuckz and Elyoya have been poked down incredibly much. The Zilean ulti is coming also in onto Nite, and they were able to grab another 2 kills for the side of GamerLegion. Great play coming in from the Dark team to punish Movistar in the missteps.
Movistar feeling the pressure here. If they lose this game, they are out of EU Masters. This was the semi-finalist of last EOM, the #1 seed from the SLO. We called them one of the favorites to win the entire tournament. Now, of course, GamerLegion has been in positions like this before. It's not quite over yet, but this is following the trajectory of GamerLegion when they look best.
I love that you're mentioning that, because GamerLegion are winning all of their fights, probably 90% of the time, 10 minutes, up to 10 minutes clock into the game. From there on, it feels like their brawls never work, but this time they might do. Xico, very careful right there. But generally speaking, usually GamerLegion will take all the skirmishes they can early on. They play for these early games. They want to feed their carries like the Hecarim right here. And then after 10 minutes, they start to fall flat. Now you see that Rabble is everywhere around the map. He's pulling kind of the JaVaaa strategy, where if you remember, season behind, the JaVaaa would go from lane to lane to lane. He wouldn't farm at all, and he would just try to grab flashes and then capitalize on it. That's Rabble on the Hecarim.
But he's so fat that he's still 20 CS up. And then he also has all the kills. And GamerLegion...
It's a better JaVaaa, that's why JaVaaa is not played.
And he has the damage, he has the engage. And the games where GamerLegion has to look bad, we say it again and again, they're a very cohesive team. They love their team fights, they love their brawls. But when Rabble or Nite is fat...
They're all going to stomp together or feed together, Chronicler.
And thus far, it's looking like
They're
a stomp together game.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to ask you, you already kind of mentioned it earlier, Movistars rather, they need to go for the reactive play. They need to try and punish the overextension from GamerLegion. How do you suppose they might actually find that opening here? What are you waiting for?
I'm waiting for Xico to actually wake up this week. He's played a lot of Azir. I've been waiting for these pop-off moments like Chocolate was able to do on his Azir, and I just have not been satisfied. And I don't think anyone from the Ezreal has been satisfied with Xico week 2 in groups. Xico week 1, mwah. Xico week 2, eh. So I'm waiting for that one ultimate that's gonna game change the entire fight.
Big hero moment from Xico, that's necessary in terms of items, because if I look at GamerLegion, it's looking pretty good. Close to the Mana Mune coming in for a Nite here. We see the Triforce from Rabble on the way, so we have a little bit of an awkward Rift Herald coming in there, but eventually...
She'll find her way.
Shelly will eventually get to the turret.
We don't know
when, but she'll get that.
She likes phones.
At some
She's
point.
going there.
Yeah, you know, just give phones some plates. It's the Ornn, as there is a gank here being set up.
Very clever though.
By Elyoya, they will find the damage here, and he has to use his W defensively, meaning that he can't use it to get away from the Sleeping Trap Bubble. Beautiful Tampered Fate up by rhuckz, meaning that phones gets blown up.
I was about to say, it's really clever that rhuckz is moving towards the top side because they saw the Rift Herald being spawned. End of the day, if the Rift Herald reached the tower to take a hit, rhuckz could use his ultimate, but they use their ultimates proactively here. Elyoya finding yet again a target, but GamerLegion trading it for their second dragon in the game.
Immediately finding the payback.
Oh, run JaVaaa.
Yeah, JaVaaa, if you're not careful, you're going to be more payback. Why are you going back to the turret? I don't know if that is quite it, as he's standing very far forward, and the cavalry, quite literally, with the Javan will be arriving soon, but with the arrival of rhuckz and Elyoya, they can't quite go for him, and instead are just going to take enough in the bot lane.
For me, JaVaaa, especially in the previous split of EU Masters in the spring, was the happiest feat I've ever seen on the Rift. This guy could not be hit by any... Exactly, he could not be hit by any skill shot, so I'm feeling like he, on the Ezreal, it's like he's home.
Uh-oh, there comes the flash taunt from Visdom. The Justice Punch, the CC chain is big, but not big enough, as rhuckz is going to be able to make it through, but the bomb on top of him takes care of the Bardeful Snowban. As he goes down and uses both summoners as well. And Movistar is just seemingly crumbling under the pressure that we put on them as the #1 seed from the SLO. And major spikes by GamerLegion aren't even hit. There's no Mana Mune, there's no Triforce just yet. And at 40 minutes in the game, they're already up to Drakes.
And Rabble has not even back yet. I'm pretty sure that when he goes back, he will most likely have the Trinity Force up and available for him. So that's going to be extremely painful for Movistar. You see that everyone from the side of Movistar are sitting on a couple of components, and Nite has been taking plates from mid, top, and now the tower down bot lane. This Lucien is extremely rich.
This was a team that was 1-2 after the first week of group trouble. It was almost unlikely as we see the engage coming through. A teleport immediately being channeled, so much damage from beansu, and in the end he can stall for a long time. Onslaught of Shadows not enough, but the Rampage will be, as now they are standing here. Reinforcements are on the way. Not enough damage available here as the Galio ultimate is going to come through. The entrance of Visdom is heroic indeed as Chrono Shift keeps phones alive. And nothing can be found for Movistar. They get taken away from the turret, and it's GamerLegion again and again.
This guy, Rabble, refuses to back and buy Trinity Force. He's running everyone down. He had Trinity Force. I don't remember what this item is called exactly.
He has Aegis.
He has Aegis.
He just gets it immediately.
He had the full Trinity Force, he had Aegis, he had boots, and he was just running down the entire map because he didn't need them. Now, when you see this horse coming your way, it's going to be a critical strike
even
in
more
your
scary.
face.
But look at how much he does here with phones.
beansu here is trying to find phones, but I think this is a miscommunication with Elyoya because Elyoya is extremely far behind and they don't account on Rabble coming in. By the time Rabble comes in, beansu falls so low that it doesn't matter that Xico makes an appearance because the damage has been done, and at the end of the day, it's a 2v2. Elyoya is too poked down to continue this fight, and by the time Hjarnan is there, he's like, yeah, you don't get to die either. The ultimate, the Zilean ultimate goes down, and everyone walks happy away from GamerLegion. This was a beautiful execution from the Dark Squad.
And Movistar is just fighting and fighting and fighting again. They keep handshaking these fights, they keep going for these hard engages, but they don't have the items. And I'm starting to get seriously worried.
Chronicler, I'm really worried for the SLO.
This is the #1 seed. You, and I was there when you said this, called them one of the favorites to win the entire tournament.
I called them the favorite.
Yeah, and as usually happens with the cast predictions, the moment you say something like that, this happens. Now, we can't say it enough times. We've seen Movistar come back from disadvantage. They are a team that has a great resilience, that has great individual talent, but they need to stop taking the disadvantageous fights.
At this point, you just have to completely chill if you're Movistar. You might try to look for a steal on that Infernal Dragon, but at the end of the day, I don't see them trying to set up for some vision in the bot side river. Only 1 minute with the Infernal spawns. So you're gonna be giving away soul point to GamerLegion. I don't think it's a time to fight them right now. You see Trinity, you see the Sunfire Cave completed. You see Rod of Ages, Mana Moon on the Lucien, Solari onto your Galio. I don't know, maybe you can catch Rabble.
And now here we see the disengage. Yeah, have to invest 2 ults.
That's big, because the Hecarim ultimate being down means a lot for the Movistar squad, means that their backline can stay safe and try to DPS.
Hjarnan very far forward, will get hit by the Tempered Fate here. There's of course have the Chrono Shift available, is going to hold that for as long as he possibly can. As here comes the damage, maybe the re-engage, and he will be able to take down.
That's 2 ultimates,
yeah.
2 crucial ultimates down for GamerLegion. Now Movistar can walk into the bot side river and try to take some control.
They don't have Call of the Forge God either there, because it was also used to disengage, and that means that
3 major ultimates.
I don't think they can try and contest here. I'm very curious to see whether or not GamerLegion is actually going to try it, because it seems dangerous. But I understand they want to find it. Phones is there on his own. Does have the flash available, but he is not in a good spot right now, as here comes the magical journey. Phones just gonna be left as the sacrificial lamb. 4 people is more than enough to take him down. And GamerLegion, we've seen this as well. Sometimes they don't know how to take the loss, give up the objective, they try to contest regardless.
It's the 10-minute mark, a little bit of miscommunication there. Phones wanted to play the flank, but there was no one on the other side to be flank for. But nevertheless, they do take a good chunk, GamerLegion, from the mid tower, and they got Xico.
Here is a lot of damage as nothing is accomplished by the Emperor's Divide. Rabble goes in. Is very tanky, so is not going to be too bothered by that. As he goes in yet again. Onslaught of Shadows, so much damage on top of rhuckz. He's no defensive tools available as the heal gets popped. JaVaaa standing on his own in backline. Hjarnan is not going to go down. And it's Movistar who this time give up kills for seemingly no reason.
You have everything. You just gave yourself another 10 minutes until potential soul for GamerLegion. You won yourself some breathing room, and you give it straight back by donating kills to GamerLegion. GamerLegion don't need you to donate kills, but if you're gonna overstep, they're gonna take your whole arm, your foot, your body, your head, everything you've got, they're gonna take it away. They wanna run away with this win, and so far, with 6,000 gold in the lead, I say they're good contenders of driving this one home and slapping SLO's hopes away.
It will mean the world for the Prime region, because their EUM has been inconsistent. Mouse has been looking incredible, barring one loss in week 1, but outside of that, they looked incredibly dominant and really like one of the contenders, as we pointed out before. But GamerLegion, they weren't looking great week 1. Schalke, unfortunately, didn't make it through. And now, GamerLegion is making a strong statement here, because this is the 3rd seed. It's not a seed that traditionally comes with a lot of expectations. The 3rd LFL seed, of course, in LDLC, the defending tournament champions, doing great. But GamerLegion is systematically choking Movistars out of resources. At what point have Movistar stalled the game enough that they can actually fight this GamerLegion comp?
You need a couple more items. I'm seeing a Trinity trying to be built onto JaVaaa. You're gonna need death stuns to stay alive at this point. You see Rabble constantly keeps fighting and fighting and fighting without buying items. He should be extremely close to completing his Cinder Hulk right here, which is going to give him a bunch of tankiness more when he goes into these fights, which means he's not gonna be able to die. He's also gonna be having all these speed ups from the Zilean, and if worse comes to worse, there's a Zilean ultimate to try and save the Hecarim too.
Rabble standing far forward. Nothing get hit by the Tempered Fate. Hjarnan still in a bit of an awkward spot. Or is it rhuckz, as he has to use the magical journey to get out of there? Rabble has used the devastating charge, but it's just about the blue buff. Everyone here.
I like that from Movistar, trying to catch the Zilean, so they make him utilize the ultimate on himself, which means that GamerLegion will be more vulnerable, diving too far into the backline without the Zilean ultimate. I do really like that. I think it was Fnatic who played that in the finals with the Zilean and Hecarim. Oh!
As again and again and again, Visdom is like, I can't taunt Flash anymore, then I just Flash and taunt. That's fine as well. Good enough for me.
The result is the same, right? You taunt people, you kill people.
I mean, if you GamerLegion, you definitely do. And what a resurgence of a team that after week 1 really wasn't looking that hot. And it's a team that a lot of people have a strong opinion about just because they play such a different style, though in this specific scenario it's not quite as bad, as this is a fairly run-of-the-mill comp with maybe some little curveball with the Zilean thrown in there.
I say GamerLegion, they sort of slowed down. They know that the items are going to play onto their advantage. They're going to have the Death Stance really soon as a Cinderhawk onto their Hecarim. The third crit item is coming in for their Lucien as well. He's going to instantly spike, especially when this Mana Mune is also stacked up to a Muramana. And then these two guys are going to run Movistar down. Movistar need to have extremely good ultimates by the Azir to keep them alive, and Java needs at least 1.5 more items.
There is a really nice cancel coming through. rhuckz in the end is going to make it through. Magical Journey, keeping him alive there. Does mean the Onslaught of Shadows is gone. I think he will be have enough time for when the Drake spawns, because I feel like this Drake fight is a make-or-break moment, as here we see a really big play coming in from Xico, something we wanted to see time and time again. Nite there together with Visdom, the teleport is coming through, the reinforcements are here, Hjarnan there as well, and now we see phones keeping everyone occupied, while Nite is doing absurd amounts of damage. Everyone in the front line is so tanky here for GamerLegion, as somehow they've turned around this miraculous fight yet again. Rabble, meanwhile, finds his solo kill on the JaVaaa. rhuckz is gonna get blown up, and GamerLegion are looking like an absolute menace here. The DAC region can smile as we see Nite go forward. The triple kill for Rabble as the Quadra gets denied by him, as Phones picks up a kill or two. In the end, it will be the clean ace for GamerLegion.
The clean ace, all of the kills, the Baron coming up, and also GamerLegion are establishing themselves towards this playoff spot. They're showing that they're no one to laugh at for the way they play. And
this looked so bad.
Yeah, Movistar thought they were faster, but in all honesty, GamerLegion are much faster than them every single time. Look at the amount of damage Nite is able to do, and Visdom zoning everyone away, and suddenly Movistar are completely split.
Look at Rabble's path.
It feels like they have caged GamerLegion into them, but GamerLegion, not really. Rabble is coming around. It's like a flank on the flank of Movistar. It's everyone flanking each other. They're going to take the Baron, as we can see on the smoke screen as well. And luckily for Movistar, they will sneak the Dragon as the replay ends and the massacre finishes.
And that's important, because if they give up that Drake, then the next fight is seemingly very, very, very bad, as Rabble will get taken there.
I don't know how much worse you can get. They're 8,000 gold in the lead.
Yeah, and they're also facing down the Baron. But I'm trying to stay positive here. If you want the #1 seed for the SLO to make it through, they need to hold on against this Baron. But the amount of gold for GamerLegion here, it's seemingly unsurmountable.
It's just not going to get any better, because Ornn is going to start handing out ornaments. He's already done it on the Lucien. He's upgraded the Infinity Edge. And then there's going to be even more coming through. So the power is just never going to get lesser at this point.
Scaling for GamerLegion, as you say, not bad either. Now the base slowly starts crumbling, and so are the hopes for the SLO. This was supposed to be their comeback, supposed to be their big moment, because they have had a rough couple of years. They always make it to semis, they make top 4, but they never get quite further than that in recent times, and that's not enough for this region. They want more, and they have the talent to do more. But GamerLegion is just looking like they have completely reinvented themselves after a rough first week.
And it still has the spice of GamerLegion in here. You've got Hjarnan on the Zilean, but they're playing much more slow and calculated. They are actually 13,000 gold in the lead, and you still see that they are not disrespecting Movistar here. They're going by the book. They're taking the 2 inhibitors that they can with the Baron. They're like, it's fine. We can back off and come back in again, because it doesn't matter. You go back, you reset, you buy even more items, you get even more stronger than your opponent, and then you end the game. Slow and steady wins the race.
GamerLegion is such an incredibly well-oiled machine.
Saying that,
yeah,
they don't give up.
No,
they still have Baron. They're still about 2 items ahead of everyone else. So
yeah, we need to be honest. It's not looking good here for Movistar, and if we do find a win for them here, it needs to be with a colossal overcommitting here.
If anything, I would like to see allowing GamerLegion to dive Movistar, and then Movistar pulling a sick ultimate by the Azir and turning this around. Again, the item disadvantage does not necessarily allow them that sick play, but I think that would be the last chance.
It's not looking good as the Baron buff about to time out here. They will be going for a little bit more damage on this top side turret as here comes the Call of the Forge God. Elyoya gets taken, but not more than that as Nite's calling is going to go into the ether. This will be a triple inhibitor take here, though, as the Tempered Fate comes through, but you're so far behind. I don't know if you can fight here, Movistar, but they seem like they want to try and play. Meanwhile, GamerLegion doing a very un-GamerLegion thing and saying, we're going to back off. We're going to disengage. We need to go back to our base.
Basically, Movistar are going to be drowning in minions, flooding their base from all three inhibitor sides, from all three lanes. This is a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because the next dragon is not sold for GamerLegion. So all this time they have to wait, they will be absorbing CS and gold that is very much needed for Movistar right now to complete some extremely key items for themselves. And on the other hand, the Elder Dragon is not up. There is a Baron, but sure, you can look to defend against the Baron because you do have enough wave clear with the Lillia and the Azir. I think the key point right here is allow the lanes to push into you, Movistar, absorb the gold, try to get some last stance items.
And talking about items, Hjarnan is reading a late summer blockbuster here.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As Nite went back and just bought a rapid fire cannon. It just like, they went back to base,
whole item, yeah.
and it's just a rapid fire cannon. It is double locket on the side of GamerLegion. They're not gonna let their carries die. It's 3 inhibitors. This is an almost insurmountable lead that GamerLegion have earned themselves here. They are gonna push through for the final moment. Is the DAC region gonna be the one with 2 representatives? Is it gonna be the number 3 seat of the Prime League that is going to make it through here? It seems like there is absolutely nothing that the Spanish Shavers can do. Movistar Riders are going to get knocked out of European Masters as the damage is too much. Look at the Quadra coming through it from Nite. That's very well deserved. Does he get the Penta? No! Yes, he does! He dies, but he gets it. And in the end, GamerLegion are your quarter-finalists. At what seed, we don't know. But what a beautiful performance.
Whew. I wouldn't have it no other way other than it ending with a pentakill by Nite. That Lucien performance was insane. The whole of GamerLegion played so calculated this game. If you asked me about a clean team fighting oriented composition, I would have told you Rogue, I would have told you Kick, I would never have told you GamerLegion. They brought the spice, they brought the textbook gameplay, they brought their respect, and they also earned their respect in European Masters. This is GamerLegion locking in their first playoffs.
The number 1 seed for the SLO, they went 6-0 in their own region recently.
They went 3-0 in the first week of groups.
It's not enough. In the end, GamerLegion with such a spirited level of gameplay, everything going well for them, not just the first 10 minutes, as we've said time and time again, but basically everything. They never really felt like they were losing control of that game.
You know what's exciting now? They're going to play against Rogue, but they've brought out a team fighting composition from the side of GamerLegion. Go Rogue are the kings of playing clean team fighting compositions. I can't wait to see this.
I can't wait. Up next is going to be GamerLegion versus Rogue. Rogue has chosen red side, but first, we're going to go to a short break.